Jesus, I believe.
Jesus, I believe.
Jesus, I believe.
Jesus, I believe.
I believe in you.
I believe in you.
Jesus, I believe.
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 I believe in you. Gesù, io credo in te.
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 Gesù, io credo.
Hi, today is another week when we come to you giving some more information on what we are doing as the caring listeners. I know people are always eager to know how the caring listeners started and maybe what are our dreams. That's why today we want to take this session to bring to you some content that is going to help you be familiar with our programs. As you keep following us, as you keep watching us, and as you keep learning from us. It goes back when I started my first appointment as the director of the Third Order Comrades in this country. It was way back 2016. I was by that time a deacon. And on this case, I'm asked to be a director of the lay people across the country. I sat down and I was like, how should I do it? Who should I work with? One thing I realized that I needed to work with so many people scattered around the country. I needed to be more connected with them so that I can help them achieve the goal that had been set before. This made me to get into learning some communication skills. Yes, communication skills. Which sometime I realized when I look back all the days I've studied. There is no single day I was given serious information on communication. Yet every one of us, each day, every moment, we need to communicate for us to be heard, for us to connect, for us to do anything. Even as little as asking a glass of water when you are on a journey or when you get into the neighbor's home. And this is where I realized that I wasn't as a good communicator as I was expected. And that gap in my life created or led me to seek to grow my communication skills. I started a simple, went to my laptop early morning after Mass. I typed, how do you become a good communicator? Wow, I didn't know because I trusted classroom setup for wrong, and that's what I had received. And by then, let's get it clear, I was already having a degree in philosophy and theology, but I realized that I had a gap. Now I'm going to the net to discover what can I get to boost my communication in my new appointment. When I did that risk, I wasn't so good in internet. I didn't have so much information, but what I did is I trusted I can get something from there. I pumped fast into a video on YouTube of John Maxwell. John Maxwell there, he presented 5 levels of leadership. Here I am, a young leader. And here I'm learning from a guru on leadership. And quickly, one thing I realized, I watched it for 1 hour. I got the 5 points that he put across. 5 levels of leadership, where he talks about the lowest level. If you can imagine someone is climbing the stairs, you have to step the first, second, and go up. So he talks about the lowest level of leadership to be the position. When you are given a position, either a manager, a teacher, a security man, a priest, as I was, and in this case, a director of the Lay Carmelites, it was just a position. And here he says, people will only relate with you because of your position. They will only work with you because they have no otherwise. And he wants any leader on staying in such a level. And that's why I said, me too, I don't want to stay there. I don't want to be a positional leader. But I want to be what he calls, in step number 2, a relational leader. What does that mean? A leader who initiates relationships. A leader who moves out. He goes to where people are. That you need to know where your people are for you to give them the best. And I got into this thinking. I wanted to be that leader that gets into the lives of people where they are. I connect with them in their situation. I listen to them. And I said, wow, this is a great insight. But as if that was all that I was expected to do, he goes down to talk about level number 3. When you have related well with people, what you expect is a lot of production. Because an organization, any grouping, anyone who is connected with 1, 2, 3 people, there is something they can do together. And it talks about the level of production. When you get people who are friendly, you can do much more with them. And this is something I have realized in my time as a leader. I have experienced it. I have admired it. I have seen the outcome. I said, yes, I need always to work with people who are friendly, who are ready to give their all. Friendly people gives not only what they can, but they renders out their hearts. Look at that. And that's why I want to pose this question to you. How many people do you think you have their heart? How many people will follow you because they love what you do? How many people, they will trust you? And when you come to lay your hands together, you have a big punch on it. That's not all about leadership. It goes again to what John Maxwell says. Reproduction. Yes, when there is a lot of production, we need to reproduce. Reproduce what? Not reproduce product. No, in this case, we need to reproduce leaders. People whom we can delegate. People whom we can assign to do what is not necessary for a leader. Because a leader should lead. He has to have the vision. He has to keep looking far. And rightly, reproduction calls for getting someone who shares the same beliefs, same values, and believes that we can together do much more. I got, and I've gotten many to follow me. When I got this, I loved it. When I have seen, especially in the third order Carmelites, I've gotten members, I've trained, I delegate from time to time. This was getting exciting with my new knowledge. John says about the climax of the journey of being a leader is a lifelong adventure where he talks about gaining respect. Yeah, respect. Some of us, sometimes we demand respect, but John will tell us and remind us that we need to earn respect. We earn respect from what we have done. And when we have done it, people watching us, they respect us for what we have done. For example, let me ask you, would you want to follow someone who has failed in life? Why is it easier to follow someone who is successful than to follow someone who has not done anything in life? It's obvious. You look and see, you admire what they have done, and you want to follow the same. So this is, I can say, it was the background of me getting into what I'm doing currently. Now, having done that, having realized that I needed all these, in a nutshell, I say I needed to grow as a leader. Not a leader of people, a leader of my life first. I needed to know how to organize my things, even my thoughts, even write what I did before coming in front of this camera. I needed to know, what am I going to say, how am I going to say it, and why am I going to say it? That's so powerful. Skill learned in the process that has already taken me 4 years. And I'm adventuring. In fact, the more I keep learning, the more I realize that I don't know. I don't know. And that keeps me with that desire of wanting to know more. And as again, John Maxwell at a certain point reminds us, you cannot go very far if you don't have a passion. Now, from that, when I realized that to have a passion in life is something that you can never let go, I sat down and asked myself, what is my passion? Yeah. Why am I doing this? Yes, I need to become a good communicator. So what? How many great people we have seen, maybe in screens. You know, we admire the way they speak. Why? Why do we want to be good speakers or communicators? One thing I realized is people will be willing to listen to us if we have a message. Or what Paul Martinelli says, we have to find our voice. Yeah. We are living an age where young, old, rich, poor have no voice of what they want and of what they are looking for. Mostly we are tempted to follow the crowd, but still we have few people who are up to that God-given gift of wanting to look for what is already within them. When I realized that I had a voice of trying to speak to people, to inspire them, to motivate them, to help them become better than they are, as what I learned later on when I joined John Maxwell team, what we call the DNA of John Maxwell. We love people where they are, what they do. Whether white or black, rich or poor, sick or healthy, we love people. We love people because we look at them and see that they are having potential to become better than they are today. I have realized this because I have seen it work in my life. The way I am today, I am not the same way I was 2016 now. And the way I am today, I will not wish to be the same tomorrow. Because my today's best is my tomorrow's enemy to become better. Therefore, I look at you rightly, and I tell you this, you are better than you are today. If you only strive to become the person you want to be. Principle number 2, we connect with people. There is no one who can make it in life going solo. There is no much you can achieve when you do it alone. Why do we have teams? Take it, football team, the best you know. Look at how much time they spend together so that they can perfect the art of making sure that both personal skills and team skills are well connected, integrated, so that when they are given that ball that is there for everyone, it should be in their possession until they score. The only time they want to give that ball out is when they have scored. But before then, they need to have possession of the ball. You have seen analysts when they look at the football game. What do they say? Ball possession. You may score too many goals, but again, if you having control of the ball wasn't as much, you are not a good team. Maybe you managed to score or to win because of luck. And if we all depend on luck, I trust there is not much we can go for in life. Let us never be cheated. Let us never want to go looking for luck in life. Let us be there getting to work with people of like minds so that we can realize what we want. I've learned that, and that's why I belong to John Maxwell team. And thirdly, we encourage people. Now, look at this. How many people do you know that are going through hard time? What have you done? The least you can do to them, I guess, is just to be there for them. Listen to them. Hear what they are saying and reflect back that you have heard what they have said. Help them realize that you understand what they are going through. And if necessary, try to help them get out of their situation. So the three aspects has built me to be where I am, and that's why I say again quickly, loving people, connecting with people, and encouraging them has made me to get my voice, because I cannot do that with someone else's voice. Yes, I've learned from John Maxwell, we are a team of now over 35,000 in the world. I don't depend on either of them. I needed to listen to myself to discover what I have and how I can use what I have. When I realized that I have a voice, I started developing my listening, but listening doesn't become as good until you act on it. And acting on it, I started putting down my thoughts. Yeah, every day. Do you know what? I write 1,000 words every day. And every morning, I take 1 hour to write a reflection. Yeah. Since 2016, I've done that. I can only miss to do that when I'm traveling, or when I'm engaged, or when I'm not well. But I have tried to be faithful. I need to spend 1 hour on a daily basis to put my thoughts down. I listen to myself, and I want to share that bit of me with my audience. If you want to check it, check my Facebook. Now check my YouTube. Check our Facebook page. You will see the word there. That's when I raised to correct all that I've done reflecting every day. And 2018, I saw my first publication. The book you see here, Tending the Sheep. Now, I have audience. I need to feed them. I need to guide them. I wrote this, Tending the Sheep, looking at the photo from our Lord Jesus Christ, who taught us, you need to let the sheep know your voice. I got this because reading the Word of God on a daily basis, trying to make it applicable to my audience, it gained me some ponga points. It gave me a point where I would say, I will do it not for me, but for you. I've done it, I'm doing it, and I will keep doing it. 2018, I published it, and I thought that I have done the biggest I will do in my life, only to realize that, as John Maxwell would tell us, when you want to finish a project, make sure you start another project within the one you are trying to accomplish. And without knowing, now that I started listening to people, now that I got to write daily for 1 hour, at one time in that same year, we had some ups and downs. We watched in the news. People were giving up. You will see some desperate cases. And at one time, a thought came to me. And I asked myself this question. What should I tell someone who is struggling in life? Someone who is giving up in life. So I thought of writing a book to give someone hope. But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to start to do it. So it happened that in the same year I had the privilege to have an international conference in Rome. And there I just found myself sitting with one of our priests. Now, he's our Father General. And when we were at a cup of coffee, I asked him, Father, why do you think people give up? He told me, Dennis, you are asking a wrong question. You should take into consideration and put it as your goal to ask those people whether they are aware of their spiritual soul. If they are, then help them to take care of it. What a kind of upside down experience. I was there and I was like, what did this mean? That I need to ask whether the other person I'm interested to help, they are conscious of their spiritual soul. And in taking or in responding to give something that is going to benefit them spiritually, they will be better off. That insight I got, I came back. Sat down and I wrote my second publication, looking into life with something hidden, as when something is in this pot. For sure, you cannot see what is in the pot unless you take your hand. Something fun there. You can first take your hand, pull it out to see. But trying to look into the pot, unless you have a very powerful light, you cannot see it. So I thought of life also being the same. Unless we stop using our physical eyes, close them for a moment, listen to ourselves, we cannot get what is buried or what is our treasure within. And that's why I have written this book, The Truth from Within. Simply, the truth within you, you have the potential to become what you want. Paul Martinelli will say, whatever you can imagine of, you will become. You don't become in a day. Chris Robinson from, again, John Maxwell team, is now the president, says this. Learn a little bit, practice. You are not going to say, I want to become in a day. Growth is a process of becoming. Learning, practicing, experiencing every day, picking lessons from every experience, moving ahead, obviously not losing the focus. I want to challenge you. Are you ready to get the truth from within you? This is the reality. You can go to the best institution. You can get all the knowledge that you can get. But until you live it, until you make it your own, relate with it, then make use of it to respond to the need of a brother, of a sister, of a sick person, of a hungry person, of a person who feels that they have not been listened to, it will never make sense. Yes, that happened. And as I did this, I was already sharing now my knowledge on leadership and personal growth. I remember I started the first group of women, and a thought came to me because the third order Carmelites, 95% are women. When it comes to faith, women are more inclined than men. So I had listened to them, I had worked with them, and I could see their challenges. So this one day I thought of trying to shape some women who can help their fellow women. I started a program where, from nowhere, I thought of the woman I want to be. And as I have learned when it comes to coaching and mentorship, you start to mentor people that you are close to or friendly to. So one day I just took my phone, I said I want to offer a program of the woman I want to be. I sent to a few women that I knew. And I can tell you the response was positive. So I have this group of women around the table. And what are we discussing about? The woman I want to be. The first shock that they had when they came back to me, because we said, yes, you are coming, let's meet around the table. I was asked, Father, what do you know that we don't know? I said, I don't know. I want to know it from you. And one thing I assured this group of women was, I'm not going to teach you women business here. You know it. Maybe some of you are experts in it. But there's something I want to ask you. Are you the woman you should be? There was silence. I started to journey with them on a personal development program. So the woman I want to be was a catch statement. It drew all these women into the same focus to think of the woman I want to be, because I am not the woman I should be. And there, in that program, I took them through for 6 weeks the 15 Laws of Growth, a book written by John Maxwell, one of the material that I'm licensed to teach. And each week, it was an amazing experience to this group of women. Some have given testimony in this book of what they received and how impacting it has been. As at now, I have trained 36 women on the same program. And when we were keeping training, because I was training not more than 8 at the time, those I trained first, they didn't want to go and say, now they have learned enough. I had a challenge. They don't want to leave the learning process. There, I had to ask them what they wanted us to do together. They said, Father, you should create a group that we should keep learning. I said, it's okay. What do you want to do with me? I said, we want to keep learning and helping others. And that is the time the Caring Listeners family was born. All these people have trained, with now few men coming in. I've trained also young people. We started talking about the Caring Listeners. This is an aspect that is now coming in 2019. The book has been published, is out there, is sending messages, signals of people I've mentored within and without the country. I needed to have a family that thinks like me, that is committed to offer their ears to someone. And when we did that, in fact, I remember very well, 2019, again, I attended a conference where, after being appointed to be the director of vocations in my order, we had a conference where we were asked, if you want to know your future, look at around people who surrounds you. Trust me, a shock came to me that day. When I looked around, I found that the third order members, again, more than 60% are senior people. This is something also people have questions. How do I manage to deal with senior people? I said, I just become like them. I just become like one of them. But then I get in this conference, I'm being challenged. Who is surrounding you reflects your future. This scared me. I didn't want to have my vision, my dream so short. I don't question my people I've worked with or I'm working with. I appreciate them and I'm always giving them the best. But then I needed to think of my future. I looked back, I said, yes, for some time I have not done something concrete with the young people. But I said, well, what can I do? A thought came to me on how should I lead my life from where I am to the future. And this is the time I looked at life and I saw the whole life is like a mission. You know, we have talked about the mission of Christ, and the mission of Christ was to come and save those who had already gotten lost. So I picked the word mission to have a picture of something that is continuous. I saw my life as a mission. I wanted to do something that is continuous. But then I've learned something from coaching. What matters is what you do today. John Maxwell has written, today matters. For me, when I got that looking at life as a mission, then I said, our whole life is a mission determined by now. A book that I got into a reflection, and I'm talking about, you need to discover where you are living. Social background adds up, whether you like it or not. We get so much from the outside world that sometimes we are not conscious about. That is what we should not forget. We need, after knowing that what we are learning from the society, in chapter 2 of this book I talk about, you need to discover yourself. Yes, I'm in this society. Who am I in this society? And in this society, chapter 3, I talk about in this book, you need to know your vocation. And this is where, when I talk about vocation, I remember in the course of that, writing, sharing, and when we launched this book in December 2019, early the year before the COVID struck, I had given some copies away. I got this old friend of mine. One day I was saying a mass in their station. He picked this book, he read it, and he came to the chapter where I talk about when marriage don't work, what you should do. This is an old man. He had lived a life that it wasn't good in marriage. So at one time, he called me asking, Father, what should I do? Should I go back to pick my wife? I said, if your heart says just go, it doesn't mean how long you have separated. If you still know that you love her, you want to give her the best, go for her. But before then, reading the book told me that time, badly with bad health, he rested. May he rest in peace. But I had seen that I had impacted a life of not a young person, but old, who picked the book and read it. And I say this, in this age, we need to seek wisdom. Who is the wise person around your life? Who journeys with you when things are not right? Whom do you listen to? Who counsels you? Does it bother you that you go through so much and no one is listening to you? Does it bother you that you have no one you can trust? And would you want to say that you want to be trusted? Did you know, by the way, age doesn't mean wisdom? You need to read this book and realize that. And finally, one of the points that I talk about in our whole life is a mission. It's about wellness. Now we know wellness doesn't need to be only medical, but it needs to be whole person wellness. What are you lacking that is making you not to be the person you want to be? Obviously, you need from the physical wellness, you need spiritual wellness, you need psychological, social, for you to be that whole person. But how many times do we only incline to one? And especially when people talk about maybe money, so you are ready to do anything because of money. Is that all? What can bring the best of you is when you integrate all aspect of your life. Anything that questions you, anything that you need to ask yourself, what do you need to do? That you need to do it. You need, and you need to pay some attention. So that has been a challenge too. And trust me, the same year as I prepared to finish this book, Our Whole Life is a Mission. That is the time I introduced from 2019 November. I find myself talking now to the young people. I was in Ngoroi Parish where we are administering. I took the whole month to be with young people. At the beginning, it looked to be a dream. And I think many people have always seen me as a dreamer. Some have confidently told me that I bite too much, biting too much than I should not. But tell me, what kind of greatness can you achieve if you don't let your mind wide? When, I have come to realize this, I think, I may not remember exactly who said these words, that if you cast your eyes the farthest you can see, you can be there. The farthest you can see, you can be there. Now, take a moment. Close your eyes. How far can you see yourself going? I turned now to address the concern of who surrounds me. And I started thinking about the young people. When I listened to them, because I had no much experience with the young, and I know one thing, many of them before, they would see me and they would just take another direction. I had even shared with some close friends that I am not gifted to deal with young people, even right in my home. My nephews and nieces know it. When I'm around, they will be whispering in the corridors because Father is around. I didn't know what I was doing to them. I didn't know that I was robbing them an opportunity of them coming closer to me and learning. Until I got this group of people far away from my home, but in a place of my ministry. When I listened to them for 1 month, I realized one thing. So many young people are crying. And a thought that came to me, how can I respond to the cry of the young people? This is my 4th book that was published just 2 months, where after listening to the cry, real cries, one-on-one encounter, I decided to give a response. I'm giving a response in this book not only to the young people, but I'm giving a response both to the young, to the guardian, and any person of goodwill who would want to shape the lives of the young people. In this book, I'm talking about, again, 5 main points. We need to know what the young people are going through. We need to have that experience. We need to give them an opportunity for them to express to us what they are going through. It's when we know what they are going through that we need to challenge our perception. We need also to challenge their perception. Men think that they are suffering because of negligence. Obviously, yes, to some extent. But that is not all. We too have neglected because we don't look at these young people as people who are a potential in contributing to the betterment of the world that we are living. This is the saddest part of life. So we need, me and you, ask yourself, how do you look at anyone young to you? As an irresponsible person? I've said in this book, by the way, one day a father takes his daughter and the son for shopping, preparing to go back to school. And when they were doing shopping, the trolley of the girl seems to carry more than that of a boy. And the boy was like, Dad, why are you not buying the same items you are buying to my sister? He says, you are careless, I cannot buy a lot of things for you. What a sad response. Today, our young boys or our sons are asking, Dad, do you think I'm a careless boy? Do you think I cannot be treated equal like my sister? Who is ready to answer that question? So sad. How do you look at the young people around you? When you look and change your perception about the lives of young people, then chapter 3, I talk about allow young people to be themselves. Be yourself. Now, I say this, free yourself by being yourself. Even as you can be grown up, you can be old, you can be whatever age, but you are not yourself. You have been imprisoned either by your thoughts, what happened in the past, and you cannot get it. In fact, during this COVID, when there was a lockdown in this country, I was in the village, and what I realized, I asked myself, what can I do? I started giving a retreat online. Once I did that, during the whole week, I said, carry your cross and follow him. Never give up until you give it up to him. It was exciting. I got the stamina. So I said, I need to do something else. In fact, from 25th of May to 3rd of July, I ran a program online for the young people. How to become a real success. It was exciting. I sent invites. People from different parts of the country joined. Even those who were not young. I got people interested to work with the young people. They joined that program online. And that is the time I realized that I need to do something for the young people. Apart from what I've written, I need to help them to become themselves. Shortly, I'm talking about the program currently I'm learning of youth empowerment. But then, going back to this book, I talk about chapter 4, where they need to stretch out their hands. Now, young people themselves, they need to be trained to create a pond. Remember at the beginning I talked about, from John Maxwell, I've learned to love, connect, and encourage. Now here, I'm helping young people to stretch their hands to help each other, to connect, to become together in trying to grow. And lastly, I say, let us lead our lives today, for tomorrow may never come. Because we have lied, let us say it, we have lied to the young people for a long time. And even now we are still doing it. When we keep telling them that they will lead tomorrow. When you keep sitting in a position where a young person should be seated. When you go to the office meant for the young people and you get someone of 65 plus still chairing such a meeting. I've written in this a story of one day I went to a certain home to visit some children. On arrival, this kid surrounded my car and looked into the car and said, "Letter KDF." Now, bring KDF, literally translated, I didn't know what it is. But I knew KDF is Kenya Defense Force. So I was asking, why do these kids are asking to bring Kenya Defense Force where I am? Only to take some time, and then I called one of them. I asked, what does KDF mean? Only to be told that KDF means some sorts of cookies that are found in the streets. I had never heard of that. I can tell you, even today, I cannot know how I can use it. But for these youngsters, kids, not really grown up, they have already known KDF is this kind of cookie. Why are they saying bring KDF? They saw in my car I had carried some bread for them. I didn't give it to them because I didn't hear what they said. How many times have you listened to people and never heard of what they are saying? So when the time came, I was trying to give this out. The kids got excited. And the caretaker immediately took some pieces and gave them. They were so excited. They appreciated more the one who gave them than the one who brought. Sometimes that's what exactly happens in life. Like when you think you are a father in the house, you just want to provide. You lose it. It's until you provide and share it with them. Tell them, today, this is what I found. It's not enough. When you understand them. But when we don't do that, we lose it. We lose it big time. That means then you don't need to lead the people you don't understand their language. If you need to understand them, you need to come to their level. But then, for how long will you keep robbing them the opportunity for them to lead their life? Let us think of that. Will you be in a position where you just need someone younger to take care of that? Are you type of a person who is always telling people what to do? Are you able to empower the young to do something? And this is why now I want to come to what I want to say, which is the main point in this discussion. It's where I want to say my passion for the young people. Yes. I'm so passionate that I want to empower young people to realize their potentials so that they stop relying on job security that comes from permanent employment, to start realizing that if they build their potentials, their talents, they become the persons God has made them to be, they are going to be successful than going to school, training, sitting to wait to be employed. It saddens everyone, from the parents, guardian, all of us who care about the young people, when we see a graduate seated waiting to be employed. Yes, you might have this qualification, but let me tell you, you need to start thinking on how to use the knowledge you have to change your life. How should this be done? Start small. I started writing just a reflection. Here I have now 4 books. I didn't know whether I would even one day publish a book. But each day I did something. Each day I kept discovering my voice. Each day I kept sharing what I knew. I get to be connected with people. People started to identify with me. Now I see the need of keeping mentoring these people around me. I'm comfortable doing this. I'm every day getting better. I did it in 2016. Even today, I am keeping going back to the internet, to YouTube, listening to people speak, to conferences, learning something new, associating with people of like-minded. They will take you far than you ever thought. We need to start small. Sit down now. Ask yourself, what are you good at? Start doing it. In fact, when you look at this program of the young people, and when you are trying to empower them, here is a manual I call. I've thought this book is already on YouTube. I'm going around in groups, putting them together, asking them to read the book and applying it. As if that is not enough. Now, I'm looking forward to make an appeal, if you are ready, to support the printing of this. We want to reach 10,000 young people. Because knowledge is power, and shared information transforms. Is a shared information with values. It has done me great. It will do you great. We want to invite you to this big dream now. Because our dream is too big for us alone. It needs every willing person. We want to extend this invite to you. Yes, you are coming as an individual, joining a team that has a heart for the young people. We want to help them to become conscious of who they are, help them lead their life to achieve their life dream. Get to do that by either sponsoring the printing of these books. We want 10,000 of them to be in the hands of 10,000 young people. You can sponsor us. We are having a play of this book. Again, we want to go to the screen. We want to stitch it. We want to create the learning process more interesting. You can do it the way you want. You can organize platforms for us to come. You can invite us. We start getting to discuss more on how we can make the lives of the young people better than it is today. We are ready to help young people discover God-given gifts so that they can build on them to become the persons God created them to be. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you